world is loud, constant noise, constant demands, an endless tug of war for control. Every day, forces bigger than us show up uninvited, and we fight to bend them to our will. Pause. But we can't. And here's the truth nobody really wants to sit with. The harder you chase control, the more of yourself you lose in the chaos. There is a way out, though, and it starts with something deceptively simple. Detachment. Not retreating from the world. Taking command of your own mind, your emotions, your actions instead. That's the core of Stoicism. Real power was never in controlling the uncontrollable. It was always in mastering yourself. The illusion of control. We've all spent enormous energy trying to control the world around us, people, careers, circumstances, convinced that if we just try hard enough, we can bend things our way. But stop and think about how much of that energy goes toward things that were never actually yours to steer. The weather does what it wants. People act in ways you can't predict. Life throws curveballs, no matter how carefully you plan. We're up against forces far bigger than ourselves, and the harder we fight them, the more we end up losing. Harsh, maybe, but also freeing, because the only thing you can genuinely control is yourself. Carl Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Meaning what actually matters isn't how much you plan or manage everything around you. It's how you handle what's actually yours to change. Your reactions, your mindset, your actions. That's where your real strength lives. Trying to control everything outside yourself is just a losing game dressed up as diligence. You can't control other people's thoughts. You can't predict every outcome. And yet, so many of us keep playing anyway. Because we've been taught control equals safety. That if we manage every detail closely enough, we can dodge pain and uncertainty altogether. But real peace only comes from accepting that some things will always sit outside your grasp. So, what can you actually control? Yourself. That's the whole answer. And when you detach from the need to control everything else, you free yourself from the constant low hum of anxiety that comes with the chase. Letting go isn't giving up, and it isn't passivity. It's the conscious choice to stop fighting the current and start moving with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events, and realizing that is where real strength begins. You don't need to be constantly at war with the world. Direct that energy inward instead. Master your mind, command your responses, and you start feeling less like a victim of circumstance and more like the architect of your own peace. Attachment isn't safety, it's a chain. We crave security. It's human. So we cling to people, outcomes, possessions, hoping they'll give us the stability we're after. But the tighter we hold on, the more restricted we actually become. Attachments aren't the safety net we think they are. They're chains, tethering us to things we were never going to control anyway. Attach yourself to a specific person or outcome, and you quietly hand them a piece of yourself. You let them dictate how you feel. You place your happiness in hands that were never meant to hold it. And when things inevitably shift, or don't turn out how you hoped, you fall apart. Attachment creates fragility, not strength. It keeps you tethered to the fear of loss, to the illusion that your well-being lives somewhere outside you. Now imagine living without that particular fear, completely at peace, knowing nothing outside you has the power to disturb your inner calm. That's the freedom that comes with letting go. Release the attachment, and you stop depending on people or circumstances for your happiness. You become your own source of strength. This doesn't mean you stop caring or go cold. It means your sense of peace stops waiting on the world to arrange itself the way you want. Epictetus said real wealth isn't in having great possessions, but in having few wants. And that logic extends to emotional wealth too. Fewer emotional attachments means more freedom from expectation, from disappointment, from the fear of loss. You can deeply love someone without relying on them for your happiness. You can chase a goal without tying your self-worth to whether you hit it. That shift doesn't happen overnight. At first, it might feel like losing part of yourself, but what you're actually gaining is autonomy. You're saying, quietly, I am enough regardless of what happens around me, and that realization is genuinely liberating. Detachment isn't coldness, it's mastery. People often mistake detachment for indifference, as if practicing it makes you cold or unfeeling. Nothing could be further from the truth. Detachment isn't withdrawing from life or shutting down your emotions. It's the ability to move through life's chaos with a steady mind, to experience real loss or hardship without letting it tear you apart. That's strength, not weakness. The ability to make conscious choices about where your emotional energy actually goes, instead of being swept along by every current that shows up. It isn't about not caring. It's about choosing what genuinely deserves your care. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. And that's the entire heart of detachment. You can't control the world, but you can always control your response to it. Think about how often we let someone else's mood or opinion dictate how we feel. How many times a stray comment has thrown off your whole day? Detachment interrupts that. It gives you the ability to pause before reacting, to create real space between yourself and the external world. So, you can respond consciously instead of just reacting on instinct. This isn't philosophical theory. It's practical strength. Life brings heartbreak and injustice regardless, but detachment means you feel the pain without letting it define you. Feel the anger without acting on it impulsively. You process rather than get overwhelmed. And the people you know who seem unshaken by life's ups and downs, they're not indifferent. They care deeply. They've just learned to direct their emotional energy in ways that build them up instead of tearing them down. Emotions are signals, not commands. Emotions are both our greatest strength and our greatest weakness. They lift us in joy, and they can drown us in sorrow. And they have a habit of clouding judgment, hijacking our thoughts, pushing us into impulsive decisions we rarely feel good about later. The goal was never to eliminate emotion. It's to regain mastery over it. Learn to detach emotionally, and you gain something extraordinary: the ability to observe your emotions without being swept away by them. You still feel joy, pain, anger, fear, fully. You just stop being at their mercy. Seneca wrote that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, a nod to how much emotional turmoil we manufacture ourselves, spiraling through worst-case scenarios that never actually happen. Emotions, as powerful as they are also temporary. They rise, they swell, and they pass. And in that passing lies the opportunity to act from clarity instead of chaos. When you detach, you stop treating emotion as command and start treating it as information, a signal telling you something about your inner state, not an order dictating your next move. Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Your emotions can shape the experience, but they don't have to shape your identity. Picture a moment of frustration. Work isn't going as planned. and it would be easy to let that frustration spiral into anger or self-pity. But step back, observe it, feel it fully without acting on it, and you get to choose your response instead. That's where real, resilient strength lives, not in the absence of feeling, but in the space between the feeling and the reaction. Nothing is permanent, and that's the freedom. Life doesn't owe you stability, fairness, or predictability. It's unpredictable by nature, and everything in it, relationships, goals, success, is temporary. People come and go. Plans crumble. Dreams shift shape. That's simply the nature of existence, and the sooner you make peace with it, the sooner you're free from the exhausting effort of trying to keep everything fixed in place. Carl Jung noted that the most terrifying thing is to fully accept yourself. And part of that acceptance is recognizing that you, like everything else, are in constant motion. Once you stop fighting that, you stop trying to grip what was always going to slip through your fingers, and you learn instead to move with it. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals or ceasing to care about outcomes. It means making peace with the fact that those things can change at any moment, and trusting that when they do, you'll be okay. Change isn't something to fight. It's something to flow with. The way a river carries you somewhere you didn't plan on going, without needing to resist the current the whole way. When you stop waiting for things to settle before you feel okay, you stop looking for stability outside yourself and start building it within. You are not defined by your circumstances, your successes, or your failures. You're defined by how you respond to them. Seeing change as an opportunity instead of a threat changes everything. The collapse of one plan is simply room for a better one. When someone leaves, it's space for new connection. When success fades, it's a reminder you're capable of creating it again. True mastery is internal. The external world is chaotic, distractions, frustrations, a constant bombardment of things beyond your control. It's easy to let that dictate your mood and your pace, but you don't have to. There's one place you always retain complete control: your inner world. Carl Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are, meaning real mastery was never about controlling the outside world. It's about knowing yourself and learning to navigate the chaos with purpose. When you master your inner world, you stop getting tossed around like a leaf in the wind and become a steady force instead. Unshaken, no matter what shows up. Life will disappoint you. You'll fail, face setbacks, get let down by people. But when you master your own mind, you stop reacting with pure impulse. You learn to pause, reflect, and choose your response deliberately. That's where real strength actually comes from. Not being unaffected by what happens, but being fully in control of how you meet it. This doesn't mean you'll never feel frustrated, sad, or angry. Those feelings are simply part of being human. It means you learn to process them in a healthy way, without suppressing them, and without letting them run the show. That's real emotional freedom. Not the absence of feeling, but the ability to feel without being dominated by it. Approval was never yours to chase. How often have you sought approval? A compliment, a like, a word of praise, and quietly tied your worth to it. If you're honest, probably more than you'd like to admit. That constant search for external validation is a trap. It keeps you chained to other people's opinions, always reaching outward, hoping someone confirms you're enough. But as long as your worth depends on someone else's approval, you'll never actually be free, always at the mercy of an opinion that could shift tomorrow. The moment you break free from that need, You reclaim yourself. You discover your worth was always inside you, not in anyone else's eyes. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Find your worth within yourself, and you discover your own why. One that no longer depends on anyone's approval. One that's entirely, uniquely yours. Living for yourself means trusting your own decisions, standing by your own values, accepting yourself, flaws and all, without waiting for anyone else's acknowledgement. This doesn't mean becoming cold to the people in your life. It just means your sense of self-worth stops fluctuating with how others see you. And once that shift happens, all the energy you used to spend chasing approval becomes available for what actually matters: your growth, your goals, the relationships that genuinely support you. Silence is a weapon, not an absence. In a world that never stops talking, silence is more than the absence of sound. It's power. While everything around you demands your attention, you retain the ability to stay still, to pause, to reclaim control. True power was never found in the thick of the noise. It comes from stepping back, observing, and deciding how to respond. Most of the noise around us doesn't actually serve us. It distracts, confuses, drains. While silence is where we reconnect with who we actually are, without the outside world clouding the picture. How often do we make decisions in the heat of the moment? Emotions running high, the world spinning around us. Silence gives you the chance to pause, breathe, and decide from clarity instead. It's not just better decision-making either. It's self-understanding. In a world that's always talking, it's easy to lose track of your own voice, your own needs. In the quiet, you hear them again. And when you stop and really listen to that silence, you notice something. You don't actually need the noise or the constant chatter of validation. You're enough, and that truth was never dependent on outside confirmation. Silence forces you to slow down, to pause and reflect in a world constantly pushing you to move faster. It's the antidote. The pause that lets you recharge and realign with what you actually value. When everything else is chaos, silence gives you a moment to ground yourself and remember you're not actually at its mercy. Pain can be the forge, not the enemy. Life will hurt. There's no avoiding it. Loss, betrayal, disappointment are simply part of being human, shared by everyone eventually. But pain doesn't have to break you. It can shape you instead, becoming the very force that molds you into someone stronger and wiser. The difference between people who rise above hardship and people crushed by it was never about avoiding pain. It's about how they respond to it. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Running from discomfort only denies you the chance to grow. Detach from the need for constant comfort, and pain stops being the enemy and becomes a tool instead for growth, for transformation. The moment you stop fearing it, you stop letting it control you and start using it as a stepping stone. Think about your hardest moments. The instinct was probably to retreat, to protect yourself from feeling it fully. But the more you run from discomfort, the longer it actually takes to heal. Face it instead, and you open the door to transformation. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every painful moment, a step forward, rather than a place you get stuck. Pain becomes the forge, and you become the steel. The more you face the fire, the harder it is to break you. Resilience is built, not born. Life isn't kind, and it never promised an easy road. Hardship will knock, often when you're least prepared for it. But resilience was never about preventing that. It's about becoming steady enough that nothing breaks you when it arrives. Detach from the need for constant comfort and control, and the world's blows stop landing the way they used to. Resilience comes from your ability to bend without breaking. It's built through your choices in the face of adversity, not something you're simply handed at birth. Most people see hardship as something to fear. Makes sense. It hurts. It makes us question our own worth and abilities. But accept that hardship is simply inevitable, and you start to see it differently, as something that can build you rather than destroy you. This shift doesn't happen instantly. It's built through practice, through detaching from the need for constant comfort over and over, until you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your own path. Resilience isn't pretending everything's fine. It's being honest about the difficulty while staying determined to keep moving anyway. And the more you practice it, the more you realize you're capable of handling far more than you ever gave yourself credit for. Solitude is not loneliness. We're taught to fear being alone, as if it signals inadequacy. But solitude isn't weakness, it's power. In quiet, solitary moments, we get the rare chance to reconnect with ourselves, away from all the outside noise. Embrace solitude, and you discover you don't actually need others to complete you. You become whole on your own terms, and in that wholeness, you find a clarity and strength the constant hustle of social life rarely offers. The ability to be alone without feeling lonely is a genuine sign of emotional maturity. Learn to enjoy your own company, and you unlock a freedom most people never experience. You stop depending on external validation and start realizing your worth was never tied to anyone's presence or opinion in the first place. Solitude also builds resilience. The more time you spend there, the more you realize you can handle whatever life throws at you, standing on your own 2 feet instead of leaning on external circumstances for your sense of security. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting meaningful connection. It means finding the balance, prioritizing time alone to recharge and reflect, which in turn deepens your relationships with others too, because you show up more present, more grounded, no longer seeking others to fill a void that was never actually real. Discernment, knowing what deserves your attention. We're bombarded constantly, notifications, trends, other people's expectations, and it's easy to lose sight of what genuinely matters underneath all of it. But detach from what doesn't serve you, and the noise starts to fade. What was clouded becomes clear. This is where discernment comes in. The ability to recognize what's actually worth your time, energy, and attention, and to make conscious choices around it instead of chasing whatever's loudest. Without it, it's easy to waste your life pursuing temporary pleasures, superficial achievements, or approval that was never going to satisfy you anyway. True fulfillment was never found in accumulating more or pleasing more people. It comes from within, from living authentically, aligned with your actual values, rather than driven by outside expectation. As you strip away the unnecessary, you make space for what's meaningful, and you start to build a life that actually reflects who you are, instead of who you've been performing for everyone else. Failure is feedback, not identity. Failure is inevitable, not a question of if, but when. And for most of us, it's one of the most feared experiences there is. But failure doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond to it, how you rise after falling, what you learn along the way. Detach from the fear of failure, and you free yourself from its grip. You stop treating it as something to avoid at all costs, and start seeing it for what it actually is: an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become better. Failure is just an event, a single moment in time. It's what happens next that shapes who you become. The fear of failure often keeps us frozen, hesitating, second-guessing, avoiding risk. But the only real way to succeed is through failure. Every successful person has failed repeatedly on the way to whatever they eventually built. What set them apart wasn't avoiding it, but their willingness to keep going, to learn, and to rise each time. Detach from perfectionism, and failure stops being something to fear and becomes something that simply refines you. Each setback becomes a lesson, and with every lesson, you become more capable of facing whatever comes next. True freedom is acceptance, not control. We chase freedom our whole lives, yet often misunderstand what it actually is. Thinking it means having everything go our way, bending the world to our will. But true freedom was never about control. It's about releasing the need to control everything. Stop chasing that illusion, and you access a freedom deeper than anything external. The freedom to be at peace with whatever comes, trusting your own ability to adapt and keep moving forward, regardless of outcome. The moment you stop fighting life is the moment you start experiencing a freedom that doesn't depend on perfect circumstances. Freedom from anxiety, from self-doubt, from the constant need for approval. This doesn't mean life becomes easy, or that challenges stop showing up. It means you stop clinging so tightly that every unexpected turn knocks you off balance. You adapt instead. You grow, you keep moving, and that adaptability is the actual cornerstone of real freedom. The more you accept life's unpredictability, the less pressure you feel to control it, and the more genuine peace you find in the middle of it. Pause. Becoming untouchable. Detachment, in the end, was never about rejecting the world. It's about freeing yourself from its grip, gaining real command over your mind, your emotions, your responses. When you detach, life's unpredictability stops having power over you. You become steady, no matter what's happening around you. Not because the world stops being chaotic, but because you stop letting that chaos dictate your inner state. Carl Jung said your vision becomes clear only once you look into your own heart. That whoever looks outward dreams, and whoever looks inward wakes up. That's the whole point of everything we've covered here. Not retreating from life, but finding within yourself the strength and clarity to move through it steady, grounded, and whole. A force the world's noise can shake, but never actually break. Remember, real power was never in controlling the world around you. It's in mastering how you respond to it. Detach from what no longer serves you, and step into the freedom to live entirely on your own terms. The world will keep throwing challenges your way, but standing firm in your own strength, nothing gets to break you.